the Mexican morons. And they took me out. They came to my house in Rolling Hills. They wanted to take me out to dinner because they were, I'd helped them in their careers. We went to the cheapest restaurant I could find because I thought they were going to pay. I thought. It was a Greek restaurant on the hill, Palos Verdes. The bill comes, between the five of them, they didn't have enough money to pay the bill. I paid the bill. And from that day forward, they were the Mexican morons. So one of them got married about 5-6 years ago on his boat, big yacht. And so I was asked to make a speech. And there were 4 non-Hispanic faces of the 300 people or so. The guy that he was the girl he was marrying, Sally, myself, and 2 black people, a black couple, who he was a ex-McKinsey guy, or a McKinsey guy. Everybody else, Taco Brown, okay? And I get up and I say, you sure you want me to make a speech? And now I've known his parents forever, and when I went to his house many, many years ago, and in those days, just at the end of my driving, I drove my own rolls there, and he says, you better put it in the driveway because it may not look the same, if you leave it out on the street. So I'm getting up in front of this audience of people, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Bank, Mr. Blah, 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 I'm here, and I'm happy to see my Mexican morons that they've all succeeded. Now, this went over like a turd in a punch bowl. I mean, because these are all Latinos, and I'm calling these 5 super successful Latinos my Mexican morons. And I haven't been asked back for any more speeches. I only speak one time. I was thinking about that, what I said last night. It's true. I've never talked twice anyplace. Now, literally, I've never talked twice anyplace. And I don't think that's going to change because, I'm not selling anything, and that's just the way it is. But those Hispanic kids, really super smart. Now, 3 went to Harvard, 1 went to William and Mary, 1 went to Berkeley. Okay, those are all great schools, multi-degrees. The more I think of it, my feelings are going to be hurt because nobody's asked me back to speak now that I think about it more and more. But I've only been to the White House one time. The 5 presidents I met, I've only met 1 president at the White House. They've never asked me back there either. They've never asked me back to. I'm off until recently when I got my investiture by the Queen. I was off the royal invitation list for 26 years. 26 years. Now that probably hurt your feelings, Pedro. It didn't hurt mine, but what else? Somebody had just asked me a question. What was the last question?
120.
Oh, how do we get 100 twins? Okay. You can tell he's from the north of England because they're a little slower up in the north of England. Remember, 100% for the purchase price and 20% overfinance for working capital. Working capital. And that's how you finance them. And the fact that they tell you have to wait 9 months, that's all bullshit. You can refinance pretty quickly. And you can always refinance when it's slapped with another acquisition. So in other words, you're refinancing the first one plus a second one, so you're refinancing the whole package. And then 60 days later, you got a third one, you can refinance the whole package. And on one of the webinars, not this webinar, but when Frank said, then he refinanced his whole package for 400%. So he had 300% working capital. When you buy them with owner financing, refinancing is easier. And if it's only 50% owner financing. Somebody here recently had a deal, 99% owner finance, 1%. He probably just used the credit card for the 1%. And it's because I think an employee must have had owned 1% and didn't want to sell. And sometimes that happens. In other words, let's say that there's an ESOP, employee stock ownership plan, and let's say 7% is owned by the employees. They may not want to sell. So then what do? Good. That's less money you got to come up with, and you make them part of the solution instead of part of the problem. So there's virtually no way. Walter, don't sneak up on me with that hand. Okay, I mean, these deals are easily done. Yeah, Walter.
So the guy that screwed over G4S, did he tell him the same thing? Basically, find someone that can get you big contracts.
No, he found the big contracts himself. There is a million in the UK today. As I'm sitting here right now, you punch out ukgovernment.gov, fuck whatever it is. There is 1 million contracts for bid this very microsecond. 1 million. In the old days, the government used to have contracts twice a year, October and April. Now it's every day. There's 1 million contracts. And not last seminar, but 2 seminars ago, the kids, as a project, went and found 6 or 7 contracts they could bid on that next morning, as low as 40,000 pounds, and I think as high as 240,000 pounds. And not all, but a good portion of the contracts that are government contracts, you subcontract.
That's a clause. Do they state that in a clause you can do that?
No, you can't. Well, you have to. You don't have to. But yes, you can subcontract. And but you have to apply. You have to register to bid. So you have to have an entity to bid, which doesn't take any time at all. The guy that's in the picture with Trump and I, the painting up there, a pendejo from Chicago, he bid on a government contract and he won it. Now what do? You got to perform. Oh fuck! He thought they'd just send him the money. Government's stupid. Well, aren't they just going to send me the money? And then 4 or 5 years to find out that they sent the money and I didn't do the business? I mean, that's how some of these kids think. And the fact that he's a Mexican is more embarrassing. Now, he doesn't look like exactly a white man up there with me, kind of looks like a thin, he just lost 50 pounds too. I'll take a chainsaw to that fat belly of yours, no problem. I mean, you'll be slim and trim next time these guys see you. So there's 1 million contracts. I told you about a Sikh Indian about a year ago, came to the Ritz and waited for me in the lobby, and he says, "Excuse me, Mr. Peña, I'm not a heckler or a stalker, but I'm so proud, I just need to show you something." So we took him up to the suite, we sat down, and he opened up his computer, and he went through these pages. That's my contract, that's my contract, that's my contract, that's my contract. So, and he says, "I heard you on YouTube." And I went, I qualified, and I won 4 out of 7 contracts. So I know how the system works. What's the point of this? Because I want to thank you. And in the Indian thing, they want to kiss your feet. No, I don't need that. The last person that got his feet washed, they crucified. I don't need my. But I have had Indians in that office kiss my feet because they are now rich, and that's a sign of respect. You don't have to. You can just say you wanted to kiss my feet. You don't have to kiss my feet. But he won these 4 contracts. And this is a guy that just stopped me in the lobby of the Ritz. He wanted to thank me. I'm rich now. Okay. Congratulations, young man. I got to get ready for dinner. Thank you very much. And, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. But it's like when I was in Poland, I've got a young Polish kid who was a senior in university. He made €1 million last year. And nobody even came up to say hello to him. I'm in a Polish university, 250 Polish students. Not one person even came over to shake his hand, say, "Fuck you, kiss my ass," nothing. Right, Jan? You know who I'm talking about. And why? €1 million is a lot of fucking money in Poland. It's $1,300,000 more or less. About £1 million. Not one single person came up to even say hello to him. They didn't want to know how he made the money. That's why I say most of the people that pretend. Because if he told them how, now the onus is on their shoulder. Years ago, I used to have the kids come up to the stage and tell. I don't do that anymore. It's debilitating because, kids would get up and leave rather than listen to a college senior success story at the same school they went to. They would get up and fucking leave. I used to give the seminar for free. 700, 800, 900 people at the airport. For free! And they would complain they didn't like the food. Now what does that tell you? So I don't feel anything for the people that don't, and that's why I give it all away, to take the last excuse away for these dipshits that I don't know how to do it. You have a much higher chance of being a billionaire here because I will lay hands on you. But most people just, they go through the exercise. They're not really interested. If I was a college senior or college and a kid made €1 million at the same school taking the same fucking classes I'm taking, I'd be on him like a cheap fucking suit. How? Why? What? When? Dim? Can you show me? Can you help me? It wasn't Walter, though. It was a white kid in Poland. Any questions? Who's my 5 o'clock? Okay. Okay, kids. Dinner tonight is fish and chips. This is my favorite night. And you have one homework, right? Goals, affirmations. What else? That's it. Okay, we'll see you. Thanks, Kat.